I was at the NRA this weekend. Nugent was there on Saturday. He'd been there for a couple of days, I guess. It's a place where real Americans hang out, and then Glenn Beck is here. I signed some books, and I shook some hands, and every hand I shook, the guys, their hands were like sandpaper. And I know they walked away from me going, something wrong with that guy, his hands are too damn soft. These are hard-working Americans. A lot of them are military. In a story I never intended on telling, but I'm going to tonight because what is happening to my friend. I was given the opportunity to do something I didn't really want to do. This sounds horrible, but you'll understand when I tell you. I met the wives of the Navy SEALs that were killed in action. I told Ted where I was going. He said, let me come with you. He was held up, and I walked into the room. And I stood in this room with these 10 women. I held one of their babies. I talked to one of their 5 and I think 8-year-old son. I looked at the Triton that they were all wearing around their neck. And quite honestly, I didn't even know what to say to them. And I stood there so awkwardly and so like a dope. And then Ted walked in. And he was everything that I wish I could have been. He smiled, he joked, he gave them hope, he laughed with them. He had a tight circle of he and his wife and these wives of these Navy SEAL heroes, the families, the hero families all around him. And I watched him for a while, and I listened. And I faded into the background, basking in the glow of a good man who knew how to make people feel better. A few minutes later, I left with Ted to get ready for my keynote speech, and Larry, the cable guy, was on stage. And I sat down in the green room with Ted, and I didn't know it, but in a few minutes he was going to start lecturing me on Mitt Romney and what a great guy he is. But I said at first, that was an amazing moment. Ted was happy and joyous with the women. But it was when he sat down in the chair, that's when he began to well up and tears run down his cheeks. He loves and respects these people and honors their sacrifice. We talked about Chris Campbell. He's a Navy SEAL, petty officer, first class, 36 years old. He was married, had a 15-year-old daughter. He was described as fervently patriotic, devoted to his family. He had a passion for helping people. He died when his helicopter was shot down over eastern Afghanistan in August of last year. Killed him and 29 other American troops. Do you remember this? Campbell had actually written in his will that if he were ever killed in action, he wanted Ted Nugent to play at his funeral. Ted told me he found out about it. Ted dropped absolutely everything. He was out on tour. He dropped out of everything. He arranged a jet so he could get there, so he could honor this SEAL's dying wish. But just before he boarded the plane, he got a phone call from someone high up in the Pentagon, in the military, that said, I don't know how to tell you this, but someone very high up, Ted, would like to make it clear you're no longer welcome at the funeral. Now, who could have called that one in? Who had the nerve and the balls and the power to disrespect the final wish of a fallen Navy SEAL? Ted respected that and didn't go. Seems like a lot of that kind of crap is going around. Another story to smear our troops. Photos of released troops posing with dead Afghani suicide bombers. This is what's broke today. Oh, shucks. Boy, I feel so bad for those suicide bombers. Oh, no, wait. No, I don't. No. Why do the feelings of dead terrorists take precedence over our men and women in the armed forces? Ted has some land in Michigan. Saturday afternoon, he was telling me about how he was forced to kill his feral pigs. Look up the definition of feral. That's wild, just roaming loose. These are pigs he raised. He had to kill them all because the government told him to. That's his private property. Who the hell are you? Why is he raising them? Because he takes extremely sick children, again, sort of like Make-A-Wish, who want to hunt, and he releases one on the land, and they go to hunt with Uncle Ted. He takes soldiers and vets and other people in need. He auctions these hunts off for charity as well. So now the government has once again picked the pocket of American charities. Well, good for you. And this is the guy the Secret Service is really worried about. Really. The Treasury Department, who oversees the Secret Service, seems to have absolutely no interest in what radicals like Louis Farrakhan is saying. And with the track record that Farrakhan admittedly has, you think there might be, I don't know, a little raised eyebrow somewhere over there. At the Secret Service office, do you think? Maybe?
If somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours?
He's talking about Malcolm X. I want you to know, he's labeled Obama a murderer, just like George W. Bush, remember?
For our brother, Barack. Beautiful human being with a sweet heart. And now he's an assassin. You talk about a man killing his own people when you lie to the American people saying that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. When you lie and then take innocent young men who come to serve their country and send them to die in Iraq, in Afghanistan, over lies, that's a murderer in the White House. Who will say it? I will.
Just this week, he also said that leaders who sold out would shortly be killed.
You want to be leaders, right? You sure? You sure? You better check yourself. Because leadership is nothing to play with. Because people tomorrow, maybe in a few days, are going to kill their leaders who've been selling them out. That's why we're in the shape that we're in right now, because we had corrupt people, or people who started off good and got corrupted.
Nothing. No interest here. Nope. Nope. No stories about the violent rhetoric in the mainstream media about that. No Nancy Pelosi crying, oh, I've heard this type of rhetoric before. Nope. Nope. Nope, none of it. Louis Farrakhan is a man with 50,000 followers. He leads the Nation of Islam. He's tied to the radicals that occupy Wall Street. He's a racist. He's an anti-Semite. And he's preaching his hateful, radical rhetoric on college speaking tours all across the country right now to impressionable young minds. If I had said any of these things, would I not only would I not be on the air any longer, I wouldn't be free. I'd be in prison. Is it me? Or is this absolutely insanely obvious potential threat that would at least warrant a visit, knock on the door by Secret Service. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, not apparently when they're dangerous criminals like the Motor City madman running loose with an electric guitar in his hand. Maybe the president should send some investigators to watch his own Secret Service instead of Uncle Ted. You know, the Secret Service, the ones who left recklessly the travel plans of the president out in the room while their hookers and their cocaine dealers came to see. At least that's the story. If there were ever a time for the president to rush out and say, hey, somebody acted stupidly, it would be this. But instead, the president is now being silent. Wow, possibly underage hookers and cocaine use by the Secret Service, now the Marines and the Air Force. Really? But the Messiah in the White House is busy bringing us out of darkness and into light. But why hasn't he spoken out? Can I tell you something? The reason I can think of is maybe there's more to the story. Perhaps this is just a wild shot in the dark. I'm not saying this because I'm privy to any exclusive information or anything like that. But is it possible? Is it possible there are more people involved in Hookergate? Possible? Anybody in the White House? Are they covering anything up? How come nobody is asked? We've got all of the branches of the service involved in hookers, but everybody was pure as the driven snow at the White House, huh? Perhaps this isn't limited just to those baby killers in the military and Secret Service, and it extends to members of this administration. Will anyone in the media pick up that little nugget and run with it? Or are they just going to be too busy with Ted Nugent? Only time will tell.
I was born in Detroit town, heart and soul of America. I have seen her ups and downs, mostly down with Obama high. But I still believe, I believe in America. I believe, I still believe. I believe in America. I believe he still believes. He believes in America. I believe he still believes. I believe in America. I believe I still believe. I believe in America. I believe I still believe. I believe in America. I believe I still believe.